Welcome to another episode on Buddhist Motivation. I'm glad you're here, and today we're diving into a powerful topic that touches on self-worth. The importance of understanding your own value and breaking free from the constant search for external validation. We often live in a world where we feel like we need to prove ourselves, to be chosen, to be accepted. But let me ask you this. What if you weren't meant to chase approval from others at all? What if the true power lay in choosing yourself? As the title suggests, you are not here to be chosen. You are here to choose yourself. I believe this truth is something we all need to embrace. Choosing yourself is not about arrogance. It's about recognizing your inherent worth and stopping the endless cycle of seeking validation from people who will never see your true value. The key to a fulfilling life lies within. It's about seeing your own worth without needing anyone else's approval. If you agree with this idea, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Your support and your thoughts mean a lot to me. Feel free to drop a comment below with your thoughts on today's topic. Your feedback is what drives me to create more valuable content that helps you grow. 1. Establishing the core concept. The moment you step into this world, you're bombarded with expectations. You are told to chase dreams, to chase success, and most importantly, to chase validation. In a world that thrives on the pursuit of approval, you are often left questioning, do I matter? Am I enough? But here's a truth that is simple yet profound. You are not here to be chosen. You are here to choose yourself. Have you ever sat in a room full of people and still felt invisible? Have you ever given more than you should, hoping that someone will see your worth, only to end up feeling empty, exhausted, and unseen? Today, I want to talk about something deeper, something that is often ignored. Your value is not defined by others. Your worth is not for sale. And you do not have to chase validation to prove you are enough. This truth might be hard to grasp at first, but when you begin to understand it, everything in your life shifts. The constant chase for approval begins to fade, and in its place grows a quiet, powerful knowing that you are already enough, just as you are. 2. Value and validation. In today's world, validation has become a currency. It's something we all seek, whether through social media likes, accolades at work, or compliments from friends. We begin to think that if we can't get others to recognize our worth, then maybe we're not worthy. The problem with this is that it sets up a dangerous cycle. It's as if we're constantly waiting for someone to tap us on the shoulder and say, "You're valuable. You matter." But let's ask ourselves, why are we waiting for others to see us? What happens when they don't? Does that mean we're not valuable? Does that mean we've failed somehow? Imagine an artist who spends years perfecting their craft. When they first release a piece of art, it's overlooked by critics. Does that make the art less valuable? Of course not. The painting held value the moment it was created, whether or not anyone saw it. Similarly, your value is not diminished by the opinions of others. You have worth from the moment you were born, and that worth doesn't depend on anyone else seeing it. The problem arises when we forget this simple truth and begin to define our value through others. The cycle of constantly needing external validation can lead to a life of emptiness because validation is temporary. It's like a drug, a high that fades the moment the applause stops. 3. The concept of self-worth. True value never needs to scream for attention. It doesn't need to chase after approval or explain its existence. It simply is. Think about a rare diamond. No one has to shout from the rooftops to tell you it's valuable. It doesn't chase you. It doesn't argue with you. Its value is intrinsic, undeniable, and silent. The moment you realize this about yourself, everything begins to change. You stop looking to others to tell you who you are. You no longer need their validation to know that you are already enough. This is the point of true self-realization. You begin to move through the world not because you need to be seen, but because you already know you are worthy. When you stop searching for approval, you stop behaving like a product on a shelf waiting to be bought. You become the standard. You become the luxury. In Buddhist philosophy, one of the key principles is to recognize your true nature, which is perfect as it is. You are not broken, and you don't need to be fixed. You are whole, just as you are. 4. Why people miss the value in you. In the world, there will always be people who fail to see your worth. They won't appreciate the depth you offer, and that's okay. The truth is, not everyone is capable of seeing your light. Have you ever tried to share something deeply meaningful to you, only to have someone dismiss it, overlook it, or ignore it completely? That is because they are not the right audience for your value. But that doesn't mean you're not valuable. It simply means they are not able to see your worth yet. Or maybe, they are simply not looking in the right place. Take a story from the life of a musician. A gifted composer spends years writing music that stirs the soul. Yet, when the music is first played, no one listens. It takes years, sometimes decades, for the world to appreciate the depth and beauty of that music. But even though the world wasn't paying attention, the music held its value all along. When you realize that people's inability to see your worth doesn't diminish your value, you stop feeling invisible. You stop seeing yourself as less than simply because others don't understand you. The people who matter will see you. And when they do, they'll recognize the depth of who you are. 5. Stop lowering your standards. One of the most powerful lessons you can learn in life is to stop lowering your standards for the sake of connection. So many of us compromise our values, our standards, and our boundaries just to keep someone in our lives. But by doing this, we send a message that we can be easily replaced, that we don't value ourselves enough to protect our energy. Think about a rare flower in a garden. When that flower is left to bloom in peace, it radiates beauty. But when it's constantly picked, handled, and passed around, it begins to lose its essence. The same is true for your energy. When you allow yourself to be overextended or overused by others, you begin to lose your vibrancy. When you have strong boundaries, you begin to recognize your true worth. Boundaries are not walls, they are lines of protection for your soul. Without them, you allow others to treat you as a commodity. But when you set them, you start to command respect. In Buddhism, we are taught the importance of sila, ethical conduct, integrity, and mindfulness. part of being mindful is being aware of how others treat you. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you're being harsh or unkind. It means you value yourself enough to not let anyone take more than they are willing to give. 6. The power of detachment. Emotional detachment is often misunderstood. People often mistake detachment for coldness or indifference. But in reality, emotional detachment is a sign of strength, self-control, and emotional maturity. It's the ability to care deeply without losing yourself in the process. Imagine a monk who has dedicated his life to meditation and mindfulness. He doesn't react to the world's chaos. He doesn't let external circumstances define his emotional state. He remains grounded, calm, and unwavering, no matter the storm around him. His emotional detachment doesn't mean he doesn't care. It means he's mastered his inner world. In Buddhist teachings, emotional detachment is about freeing yourself from the constant pull of external situations. When you stop allowing others' actions or words to dictate your emotional state, you regain control over your life. Emotional detachment gives you the power to remain peaceful, even in the face of adversity. When you start making yourself unavailable to those who treat you as an option, you send a message that you will no longer tolerate being undervalued. Your absence will become a statement of your worth, your boundaries, and your strength. Imagine a rare, priceless artifact. The more it is handled, the less valuable it becomes. But if it's preserved, untouchable, only those who truly respect it will get to experience its beauty. This is what happens when you start valuing yourself and setting boundaries. You stop being easily accessible to anyone who doesn't see your worth. In the end, the most powerful shift you can make is to stop looking for others to choose you and start choosing yourself. You are not here to be anyone's option. You are here to set the standard for how you wish to be treated. You are not ordinary. You are rare. You are valuable. And the moment you stop seeking validation, you stop being an option. You become a standard. The luxury is not in how many people want you. The luxury is in how rare and unattainable your energy becomes. When you walk into every room knowing that your worth is not up for negotiation, you begin to command the respect you deserve. You stop shrinking to fit in. You stop dimming your light for the comfort of others. And in doing so, you become unforgettable. Thank you for sticking with me through this message of empowerment and self-awareness. As we reflect on the idea that you are not here to be chosen, but to choose yourself, I hope it gives you the courage to stop looking outward for approval and start looking inward to recognize your own value. Remember, the true luxury of life comes from knowing who you are and embracing your worth without needing to convince anyone else. And as you continue your journey, always remember, you are the one who gets to decide your value. If you found value in today's video, please give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure to hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our future content. I'll be back with more videos to help you live a life of self-empowerment and mindfulness. And of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. It's your feedback that keeps me going and creates a space for deeper conversations. Until next time, take care of yourself, choose yourself, and remember, your worth has never been up for debate. You've always been enough. See you in the next video.